Great.
Well, good morning, everyone on the West Coast at least. And I want to welcome you to the 1619 project discussion hosted by the Pasadena Village. This is October the 6th, and we have a special guest today. Helene Reingold is coming to us with another one of her stimulating and very engaging conversations with art. This is a conversation, so people need to be unmuted in order to say something. If you have background noise, go ahead and mute yourself, but feel free to speak up whenever Helene gives you the opportunity. And it's interactive and it's engaging and it's a lot of fun. And hey, Helene, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Dick. Hello, everybody. It's 1 o'clock. I'm talking to you from Connecticut. So I'm happy you got up early. Okay. We're going to be talking about African-American artists that are part of the National Gallery of Art collection in Washington, D.C. Okay. And I think you'll know a few of them, but I don't think you'll know most of them. And that's something that I always find exciting because we all learn together. This is all about what you think, what you feel. This is your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't care if you don't like one of these pieces. As we say in Brooklyn, I didn't give birth to any of them. It's immaterial. Okay, so I am going to disappear so that you don't pay attention to me, so that you pay attention to the artwork. Priyanka, can you shoot the first one up, hon? Okay, beautiful. And let me go into, can you go into slideshow? Perfect. Everybody have this lovely still life on here? Okay, can you all see my arrow?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. First of all, let's start with the 4 subjects in art. What is one of the subjects in art?
Still life.
Still life, that's what this is. What is a still life? Some people are still muted. Some people are still muted. What's that?
Things that are still.
Well, everything you look at in a painting basically is not moving. So no, I got to get more from you.
No
Fruit
longer
or flowers.
It's an inanimate object.
Something that is not moving, that is that was alive and is no longer alive.
Oh.
And arranged on a what?
Some sort of a platform or a table.
On a tabletop. Yes, that's your classic. That's your classic
Table.
definition of a still life. Things that were alive and are no longer alive, arranged on a tabletop. Completely under the control of the artist. They decide what they want to put in, how they arrange it, and so on. What's another subject besides still life?
Landscape.
Portraits.
Landscape. Portraiture, that's 3. What's my 4th one?
Portrait.
No, we already said, we said still life, we say landscape, we say portraiture, and what's my 4th one? Something that tells a story.
Narrative.
A narrative, excellent. And we're going to be looking at all those 4 today. This is obviously a still life, and it's done by an artist named Robert Duncanson, 1821, 1872. This is an African-American artist. Is there anything in this painting that would let you know that? No. And we're going to start seeing a progression.
Peanuts.
Peanuts? Why peanuts?
From Africa. that's a stretch.
All right, that is a bit of a stretch. Okay, I'm not gonna.
It's front and center.
The peanut is front and center. Okay, so you see a connection to what with the peanut besides Africa?
George Washington Carver.
Oh my goodness, but that's after this gentleman.
I know.
Yeah, no, that's after this gentleman.
Joking.
Okay, nothing in this painting, I think, would lead you to believe this man is an African-American. And he had an international reputation, Mr. Duncanson did. He was a photographer. He was a muralist. He was a painter. He was an itinerant painter. Anyone know what an itinerant? Some people are still muted. Susan McKinley is muted. Will Fuller is muted. Thank you, Susan.
Travels.
Yes, he moved from place to place. An itinerant painter moved from place to place. He's primarily self-taught, which means, again, what is a self-taught artist?
No teacher.
No academic, yes, right, no academic, no formal academic art training.
Was he a slave? Would he have
No,
no
he was
access?
no, he was not a slave. Good question. His mother was black, his father was Canadian. His mother was a freed slave. Father was a Canadian.
Where was he born?
Oh, you want those specific facts? Okay, he was actually,
Well-
what? Go ahead.
Well, it would have a lot to do with whether or not his mother being free and his father being Canadian, possibly he came from a culture that
Yeah.
wasn't as pervaded by slavery as, say, if he'd been born more like towards New Jersey. Maybe he was born in New England.
Excellent, excellent observation. Wonderful observation, Susan. Thank you. Yes, he actually was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, which had a huge population of freed slaves at this time.
They also had a lot of unrest, though.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go down that road. Let's stick with
Okay.
this. Okay, like, because we could be on for 2.5 hours, which is fine with me. I have no problem with that. Cincinnati, Ohio, big population, freed slaves. That was a very good observation, Susan. Do we like it? Do we think it's a good painting?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
He did a nice job.
Mhm.
yes.
And I
Right.
want you to notice he does a classic triangle. Do you see the triangle?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is yes, classic triangle, because every painting starts with a shape. Every painting starts with a shape.
Hmm.
This is 12 by 16, and it's oil on wood. Oil on wood, which is what artists always used prior to using
And
Canvas.
canvas. Exactly. And the use of canvas comes in the Renaissance. May I go on? Do we like it?
Yes. Pleasant.
Duncanson is known for his landscapes. He was very influenced by the Hudson River artists, Thomas Cole and so on. But I brought you this because he only did 10 still lifes. And I think this is quite gorgeous.
Yep.
Quite gorgeous. May I go on?
Yes.
Go ahead, Priyanka. Oh. What are we looking at here?
Pottery.
A pottery piece. And the nickname for this person was Dave Pottery. Yes, Dave Pottery. His name was David Drake. He was born around 1800 and he died around 1870. I say circa because he was enslaved his whole life.
Hmm.
He does these gorgeous, gorgeous pieces of pottery. And they're primarily used for what?
Water.
Show.
Not
Storage.
show, not show.
storage.
Storage, water, great storage, right. He's a slave. He's doing this for his master.
Mhm.
And his master teaches him to read and write. Do you see the words at the top?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Aha. Tell me about slaves who were taught
Yeah,
to read and write.
It's illegal.
Illegal, absolutely. And if it was discovered, that slave could
Dangerous.
certainly lose his limb.
Yeah.
All right, he could certainly lose his limb. The last person who owned David Drake taught him to read and write. And on every one of his pieces of pottery, you will find that man's initials, LM. It's kind of hard to see, it's around the other side. LM.
Hmm.
Good potter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
Plantation-
you read what that says?
Oh, yes, it's very difficult. For you or for holding, and then it goes on. It's very difficult. The slide was not as clear as I would have
Okay.
liked. You can go onto the National Gallery website and you can zoom in on that. All of these are at the National Gallery in Washington, DC. All right. Gorgeous pottery, North Carolina. He also writes poetry, puts that on his pots.
Mhm.
And they're called poem jars. David Drake.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I think this is a wow. And this was done in 1859, just before the Civil War.
War.
Just before the Civil War. David Drake. His stuff is gorgeous. And some of his pots are big enough to hold 40 gallons of water. Someone had
He-
something to say.
Did he go on to have a career after the war, after he was freed?
He did. But we have many of his pots from before the war began, when he was totally enslaved.
Mhm.
David Drake. May I go on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
What's beautiful about it?
It,
Seriously, what's
the,
beautiful about
the colors are beautiful.
the colors?
And,
Go ahead.
and the design, the fact that that he
Right.
doesn't get too far into the details. I
Yeah,
mean, he makes details, but the beautiful work for the background, just suggesting that entire horizon. And the sky and it's just beautiful.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you, this is not realistic. This is impressionistic. Yes.
it's like a dream.
This
Yeah.
is a classic piece of impressionist art. And
Love it.
impressionist artists were painted where? Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
They
Good.
painted outdoors. That's called plein air, Plein. They paint outdoors. And they're very, very interested in one particular element of art.
Light.
The light. Perfect. They're interested in the light. And what I love about this piece is that the light of the sky, the colors of the sky, are reflected in the water with just a little touch of blue. Anybody recognize where we might be?
Paris is a guess, but I don't know.
Paris is a perfect guess because that's where we are. What river is it?
Well, the Seine. But it,
It's the Seine. Yes, of course, it's the Seine. And the
well,
artist
the
who did-
composition. Go ahead. The composition is
please.
interesting. He puts all the stuff off to the right, which makes a very interesting dynamic painting. It isn't all centered and regular.
It's not static. Very good. We have some good people today. Very, very good observation. Do you see any people in this?
No,
No,
Look carefully.
Maybe on the
Maybe.
right bank. There's
Yes, we
Looks
have
like a
some
woman.
people on, yes, we have some
On the
people
boat.
walking
On the boat, yeah.
alongside of the river. We have some people walking alongside of the river. This is
Yeah.
the Seine, yes.
yeah.
And this is done by an artist whose name is Henry Osawa Tanner. Anyone know that name?
Mm-mm.
rings a bell.
Rings a bell. 1859, 1937. Mr. Tanner is the first Black to attend the Pennsylvania Academy of Art in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
He was also the only Black in a class of over 100 art students.
Oh,
And he was admitted because the president of the Pennsylvania Academy of Art, Thomas Akins, do we know that name?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He recognized his talent and he accepted him as a student. This man could not sell any art in this country.
Oh,
Why? Why?
So racist.
Yes, exactly, because he was Black. And he goes, yes, and he goes to Paris and he studies formally at the Académie Julian. Anyone know the name of that? Is that a familiar name?
mm-mm.
The Académie Julian was an art school that admitted women,
Oh,
minorities.
Oh,
It was yes, it was opened in the 1860s to be an alternative to the École des Beaux-Arts, which was the most prestigious art school, certainly in France, if not all of Europe, that had been around for at least 200 years before this. The École des Beaux-Arts, very traditional, very classic art, never admitted women until 1892. So he goes to a more progressive art school where he is certainly at this time in Paris, he's exposed to the Impressionists. Give me some Impressionist artist names.
Monet,
Monet.
Manet.
Manet.
Oh, well, Manet did not consider himself an Impressionist. He
No, he
considered
didn't.
himself
Okay.
a realist, really. Monet. How about Mary Cassatt? How about Bert Morisot? How about Renoir?
Yeah.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh, no. later.
No, not
Later. Influenced by the Impressionists. He's part of the I hate these words because, you know, art is a flow. It's not a static situation.
Yeah.
So artists who come afterwards are influenced by the people before and so on. Tanner goes to Europe because of the racism that he faces here. He ultimately marries a Swedish white opera singer. He never comes back to the United States, but he's such a recognized artist that he's awarded the French Legion of Honor. Does anyone know what that's all about?
Yeah. It's kind of the Congressional Medal of Honor in this
Well,
country,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. You get voted in. You get voted in by your fellow members. Recognition for creativity, literature, music, sculpture, painting,
Ah,
and so
oh,
on.
it's a specifically artistic one. Yeah.
Yes,
Huh,
it's a
reading.
it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's a big deal. All right. 1923. The French Legion of Honor was started by Napoleon in 1802 to recognize, okay, the highest level of achievement in France. So for him to get this in 1923, he had to be a well-known, successful artist. Henry Osawa Tanner.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead.
But
Somebody
the
had
middle
something to
name,
say.
the middle name sounds Japanese, but it could
No,
also be
I'm glad
African.
you, no. Osawa comes from an uprising in Kansas, in a town called Osawa.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
familiar.
Yes, and his Osawa's father, Tanner's father, was a minister, and he lived in that town. And Osawa does a lot of very religious paintings also. Okay, I knew these were going to be people you might not know. Can we go on, or are we okay with
Yeah.
this?
Sure.
This is
It's
lovely.
beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful, is it not? Okay. Oh, look at
Wow.
this now.
Mm,
Tell me,
mm.
talk to me. What do we see? Is this a landscape? Is it a narrative? What is it? All right, don't laugh. I'm just checking. Okay.
A portrait of a very tired woman with beautiful hands.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned the hands. Her hands are gorgeous. Hands are very difficult for artists to do. Many joints, many lines, and the hands are beautifully done. I'm so glad you noticed the hands. Do you notice the ring on her hand?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we
Yes.
know she's what?
Married.
She's married. This is
Is
the
she the
grandmother.
artist's mother?
No, this is the grandmother of the artist.
Oh.
Who she was born a slave. This artist's name is Archibald John Motley. 1891, 1981. A member of the Harlem Renaissance. Anyone know what that's all about?
Yeah.
What's the Harlem Renaissance? We're going to talk about that with other artists too. Anybody know?
It's funny when you recognize the name and kind of, and the place and the time and kind of a global sense, but when you ask to say what exactly is it? It's great to be asked that.
Oh, well, all right then. Thank you. Thank you. The Harlem Renaissance, okay, was Harlem section of New York, okay, north on Broadway, north of 125th Street. Very Black neighborhood. Part of the Great Migration. Anyone know what the Great Migration is all about?
Sure. People coming from the south to the north to get
Yes.
opportunity.
African Americans coming
Warmth of other
to the
stuff.
north.
Yeah.
Work opportunities, absolutely, work opportunities. 1910s, 1920s, 1930s. There was an unbelievable flowering of creativity in this area at this time. Unbelievable. You had musicians, you had writers, you had painters. I'm trying to think of one fabulous, Duke Ellington.
Musicians, yeah.
One off the top of my head. Yes. And Archibald John Motley was part of that group. This is his grandmother. How did he feel about her?
Huh.
How did he feel about this woman? Talk to me. Look at the way he paints her. And someone
Very
did.
realistic. He wants her memorialized.
I like that. He wants us to know what she looks like. He did catch how tired she was. You picked that up.
Compassionate.
Yes. Does he care for this
Yeah.
woman?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you bet. You bet. He cared for her. So her bedroom became his art studio. And it was on the third floor of their townhouse. And every day he would carry her downstairs to spend the day. And then at the end of the day, he would carry her back upstairs. Yeah.
Huh.
I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous portrait.
The necklace.
The brooch.
Yeah.
Brooch.
Oh, it's a brooch, not a
The
necklace.
brooch.
Yes.
Why do you think that's included?
It's loving.
Yes, yes. Does he know this woman well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And her eyes. Oh,
Oh my goodness. How old is she in this painting?
She looks old. She might not be.
Well, give me an age.
Adult.
I
But
say
she-
she was born a slave, so give me an age.
To me, in my 70s,
In
she
her
looks like
80s.
she's in her 80s. Yeah.
She's 81.
She's
81 years. Yes, she's 81 years old. Hands are gorgeous, dignified, and a
Yeah.
very honest portrayal, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes. He was a WPA artist.
Ah,
Talk to me about the WPA, guys.
Works project.
Progress Administration.
Yeah.
Exactly. And who supported these artists?
Roosevelt.
FDR.
The government. Yes, the federal government actually supported these artists during the Depression.
All kinds of arts.
All
Dancers,
kinds of art.
Actors, talking newspapers,
Everything.
graphic artists, everything.
You name it. You name it. We wouldn't, these people would not have been able to survive the
No.
Depression without this help.
No, I don't
And
think
Motley, go ahead.
there's a time for the arts, in support of the arts. In this country
Absolutely. It was a
before or
climate.
after. Yeah.
Wonderfully said. All right. Something that Europe does for their artists that we don't do in this country anymore.
Nope.
Really not much, not much. He goes to Paris for 2 years. In 1929, he comes back. Okay, so he's exposed to some European artists for sure. Okay, he also is married to a white woman, and he wins a Guggenheim Fellowship.
Wow.
And yet here's an artist whose name we don't know. All right. He said, I loved Paris. They acted differently towards me.
Hmm.
They may not like Americans.
How many African American artists of various stripes went to Paris?
Lots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the
Racism.
climate for their work, the lack of discrimination in Europe. Right? I'm thinking Josephine Baker,
Oh my.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people.
a lot of people, yes,
I
because,
think even Grace
Thank you.
Jones now.
pardon me?
Well,
Is it even Grace Jones now?
Okay,
yeah. And
not nearly as racist,
Nina Simone.
but and there's a thing though. They were exotic. were
that's the
different
word
in
I
a
was gonna
pleasant
use,
way.
exotic, exactly
Yeah.
correct. They
And
were
the reason
so-
I mention it is
Mhm.
Algerians and others who have come in large numbers to Europe have found racism against them,
Right.
and the European countries have been back and forth against each other for years. So the exotic exception was accepted. But once it
Exactly.
became a critical mass of people, they became a threat, and it was unfortunately people
I
did the
did
same sort of
not-
things we do here.
Well, I didn't want to use the word exotic because that's exactly the word. I didn't want to use the word exotic because that to me is almost,
It's condescending. It's a sense of
yes,
some sort
yeah, I'm
of,
not comfortable with that word, but exotic is
No.
exactly what these African Americans were, period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the shadow side of it. Yeah.
So, yes, so different, so different. So check out his portraits. His portraits are gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, can we go on?
Mhm.
Sure.
You people are doing great. Okay, then.
Oh, how nice.
What's nice about it?
They're so elegant.
Elegance,
Self-assured,
self-assured, confident,
beautiful dress,
beautifully
beautiful
dressed.
setup.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. Upper middle class,
Definitely.
definitely. Harlem,
Yeah. Harlem
Renaissance
Renaissance. Yeah.
photographer. Harlem Renaissance photographer, James Van Der Zee.
Ah,
What a cool name.
James Van Der Zee. He had an 80-year career. He was born in 1886 and he dies in 1983. If you were anybody who was anybody in Harlem at this time, you wanted James Van Der Zee to photograph you. Just like we go to the 1960s. If you were anybody in a certain level of society, you wanted Andy Warhol to do your portrait.
Yeah.
What does he think about these people?
Yeah,
Oh,
Hmm?
they're
he's
impressive.
giving a
Respect.
Respectful. We don't even
Yep.
know that. We don't even know their name. It's called Couple. That's it.
hmm.
And it's 8x10.
Oh.
And Van Der Zee starts his photography career when he's about 12 years old. Someone gave him a camera and he
Yeah.
was off and running.
There was a fashion in the, I don't know how, the 20s, 30s,
Mm.
where families of professional class would have a formal portrait made by a major studio. And it was Karsh, and I forget a couple of the names. My mother and father had a formal portrait like that, not quite as elegant, not nearly as elegant, but staged, poised, showing that people are some substance
Mhm.
by a traveling subset of a major studio that would
Okay.
do something that was sepia, as a matter of fact, very
And
much
they were
like this.
sepia. And they were sepia. You're absolutely right. And so if the whites can do it,
Yep,
so can the blacks. Yes?
yep.
Yes. Couple, James
I-
Van
They,
Der.
they were people of some substance, I would say. From
Oh,
the
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, look at the way, first of all, look at the way, I love the bowler. I love the bowler hat that he's got. And I love the flowers. I mean, this is an upper middle class setting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
James Van Der Zee. Check out his portraits. You got married, you were a certain level. Thank you, Priyanka. There's his signature. If he came, he did your wedding portrait. He did your funeral portraits of the funerals. He did your graduation portraits.
Wow.
He did your baptismal portraits. James Van Der Zee. Over 150,000 photographs.
Oh,
A member of the International Photography Hall of Fame and recognized actually by President Carter in 1978 as a living legacy.
Yeah,
James Van Der Zee. May I go on?
yes.
sure.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I like this.
What do you like about it? Ooh, you people are so wonderfully responsive. I love it. What do you
Well,
like?
it gets so much into it. It's such a nice
Mm,
Mhm.
composition. It gets all this history in with
mhm,
just some images. It isn't a posed thing.
mhm.
I don't know how he did that. How he
Oh,
brought
I
in
love-
all those
oh.
elements. Really
You
good. design.
wonderful, wonderful. This is Aaron Douglas. He's also a WPA artist. Ultimately ends up as a professor of art at Fisk University, which is a black college in Tennessee. So let's take a look at this. What do we see?
Slaves.
Slaves. Why do you say slaves?
The history of the Black experience.
Yeah.
What
The
makes you
shackles
say
on the
slavery?
arms.
What makes you say slavery?
The
He
chains.
has chains on his
Chain.
arms, yeah.
All right, the chains. What else do we see?
But
Yeah.
he's coming from Africa ahead to America.
And how do we have anything in here that shows us how they got here?
Sailing
Just
ship.
look like ships,
The
sailing
ship
ships in
ship
the
in
the
background.
back.
We've got the ships, okay? We've got the ships. We've got the chains, okay?
Well, there are people
Look-
with slumped shoulders moving down probably to get on
Yes.
the ships.
Yes, exactly right. He's looking up at something.
Star, is that the North Star?
It's the North Star.
Oh.
Tell me the significance of the North Star.
That was an
No.
Underground Railroad.
Yeah,
Follow
follow
the
the
drinking
freedom
gourd.
Road. Follow the drinking gourd. This is how
Wow.
slaves, yes, this is how slaves knew which direction north was.
Oh,
They could only, of course, travel at night. So we've got that. We've got the slave ship. We've got the bondage. Can you see the bottom of the, Priyanka, can I see the bottom of the piece? It seems to be cut off. Can you scroll it up a little? Yes, Priyanka?
Got it. Oops.
Whoops. Can you scroll it up a little bit? No?
We can see the bottom of the
It
screen.
looks like it's all on there. There's
Okay.
white space below.
Do you see the foliage? Oh, where are we?
Yeah,
Where are we? Look at the foliage. Where are we?
we're in the tropics.
Yes, we're in Africa.
Homes,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're still in Africa. Look at the face of the center figure. Look at the features. He's in profile, is he not?
so,
Yes.
Okay. This, I'm hoping, should bring you to thinking about Egyptian art,
Oh,
Hmm,
because Egypt is part of what continent?
Africa.
Africa. Aaron Douglas, huge mural, oil on canvas, 60 by 61.
Wow.
60 by 61. It's one of four that he did called Into Bondage. One of four, from slavery to the present time. Wow. Yeah, quite fabulous. Aaron Douglas, once you've seen one of his pieces, you'll always recognize his style. Very specific style. Are we good?
Yep.
All right, he dies in
Are the
19.
people behind him,
Pardon me?
are the people behind him?
Yes. Yes.
Well, at first I thought they signified the white people, but he's leading them. He has his back to them. Doesn't he? Because the chain is in front of him.
The chain, is he leading them?
No.
That's what I'm wondering. So they would be following him.
Absolutely.
I
They're part of a group that are going to the
The ships.
ships.
To the,
That will be taking them to either the United States, the Caribbean, or South America.
Yeah.
Through
most
a,
likely the latter.
well, we don't know. Through a passage in the
Yeah.
Atlantic called the Middle Passage. And we're going to talk about that also. That was part of the triangular slave trade. Do we know about that?
Sure.
Okay, triangular slave trade. You make a triangle, Europe, Africa, Western Hemisphere. Pick up the slaves in Africa, ship them to the Western Hemisphere, pick up whatever product, rum, whatever, off to Europe, and then back again to Africa. Triangular slave trade. Middle Passage is how they came from Africa
Yeah.
to the Western Hemisphere. Aaron Douglas, he's so recognizable. And as I said, another WPA artist. And he was dyslexic. Yeah, he was dyslexic. All right, can we go to the next one?
Oh, my.
Would dyslexia affect painting or just reading?
Absolutely. No, dyslexia has all to do with writing and painting and how you see things. Absolutely. The artist who did this wants us to know who he is. Do you see his signature?
yes,
Who
Oh,
is
yeah.
this?
It's
Pippin.
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 Horace Pippin. He always signs his paintings in big, bold letters. What does that tell us about him?
Point to the letters, please.
Right down at the lower right. Horace Pippin, lower right.
I don't see it.
Priyanka, can you show us with your arrow? I guess my arrow isn't showing.
Oh, it's under the pictures.
Yeah, here it is. It's in the lower right. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Almost.
Horace Pippin was a soldier in World War I. Soldier in World War I. He was part of a segregated group of soldiers called the Harlem Hellfighters.
Ah,
They were quite famous and they were actually recognized for their bravery. He's injured in World War I, injured in his right shoulder. He comes back. He still wants to paint. This is a man who's totally self-taught. Okay.
yeah.
And he cannot really hold the brush well because of the injury in his shoulder. His wife suggests that he paint with his left hand supporting his right elbow.
Oh,
Got the
wow.
image?
Ah,
Left hand supporting the right elbow. Is he going to be painting quickly or slowly?
slowly.
Slowly.
Painting very slowly. And he's self-taught. He doesn't sell any of his paintings till he's in his 40s. He needs another job during the day. He's a custodian in a bank.
Jesus.
He does, yes, he does 3 or 4 paintings a year because of the
Oh.
difficulty. Yes, because of the difficulty. I hope you see that this is not a formally trained artist. Yes, can you
No.
see it? The style?
Yes.
Well, it reminds me of Grandma Moses
It
somehow.
looks like
but-
Grandma
And
Moses.
Grandma Moses also self-taught artist. Exactly right.
Well, now,
Where are we?
about them.
Wait. Let's stick
ahead,
with
go
one
ahead.
thing at a time. Where are we? What's the setting?
It's a poor part of town.
Their house.
It's an interior, is it not?
Yeah, interior of,
Interior,
hard to
okay.
tell if it's a
And
house or
why
an
do we-
apartment.
How do we know it's poor?
Because there's plaster is missing from the walls.
Mhm.
There's snow on the windowsill. It looks like on the
Yes,
inside
it's
of the window.
cold
I
on
don't
the
know. It's
inside.
cold,
Yes, it's
yeah.
cold on the inside. And look where he puts the window. Does he want us to notice that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right in the middle almost.
Because it's right in, exactly, it's right in the middle. And do we see the stove?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And what
Wood
kind of
stove.
stove is it?
a
it's
wood
a cast
stove.
iron wood stove.
Well, I don't know. Take a look. I'm seeing something that tells us exactly what kind of stove it is.
Potbelly.
A cast iron
Yeah,
What is it?
stove, cold
Cooking stove.
stove.
Oh,
wood.
do you see the coal? A coal
That's
stove?
coal?
You see it here? Yes,
No,
right
no.
here.
Oh, I
I
thought
see
that was
wood.
wood.
Coal bucket.
That's wood.
Coal bucket. Oh, and you
Huh?
also.
No, that's wood.
Ah, you see wood and coal.
Okay,
Is there coal? That
Yeah.
bucket's coal bucket?
Coal bucket. Coal bucket
I
and
thought that was
wood.
a water.
And
I
notice
thought
we
that was a
have,
brick.
lovely rugs on the
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wooden floor, but lovely rugs. Yes.
very colorful.
Colorful
Might be homemade.
textile weaving, very significant part of the slave culture. Quilts and rugs, slave
Yeah.
culture. How many people?
Three people.
Or
Maybe.
Three.
well, they have to
baby, or
divide
is
them.
it a baby or a doll?
We don't know if
Probably
it's a
not.
baby or a doll, do we?
No.
No. We have a woman. What is she doing?
Smoking a
Smoking
pipe.
Smoking a pipe. Yes, something that many African American artists use as a way to show what these women did at the end of the day to relax. It's a tobacco
But
pipe.
she's also by the stove to stay warm.
Without
Mhm.
question. She is cold. It's called
Mhm.
School Studies. School Studies. It's semi-autobiographical.
Huh.
Anybody engaged here with each other?
No.
No.
Not
that
quite the
interesting?
opposite.
No, right. No, everybody is in their own space.
Facing away from each other. Yeah.
Yes, everybody's in their own, I say semi-biographical. Horace Pippin goes to, anybody here from Philadelphia? The Barnes Museum? Barnes? Wealthy gentleman who developed the liquid that you put into newborn infants' eyes to make sure they're not blind.
Oh my.
Made a fortune. He collected art, collected Impressionist art. He also collected African American art. He discovers Horace Pippin. He gives him a one-man show. It sells out. Unfortunately,
Wow.
Pippin dies that same year. Never really successful in his own lifetime, and certainly not financially secure. Horace Pippin. Check him out. Can I go on?
Yeah.
And he always signs large. He always wants you to know who did it because he has a lot of confidence. He feels good about himself. He's not ashamed of who he is and what he is. Let's go on.
Oh my.
Look carefully now. Look carefully now.
Toes. And a dog.
I see feet.
Good. You see feet. Feet right up front, right in the center here,
Yeah,
right?
and then a head
And a
just over
head.
the large toe.
Oh, no, then their hands. That's not a
Arm
dog. That's a man with his
and
arms
feet.
over his head.
That's a man resting behind the feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's two men lying down.
We have
Two
three
people.
figures. We have three figures. We have the figure that the feet belong to. We're looking straight at it.
Yeah.
We have another figure who's lying down resting. Tell me about the body language. How does that figure look?
I think they're exhausted.
Exhausted? Perfect.
Okay.
Exhausted. And you have one more figure way here. And what's the
Little bitty
scene?
one?
What's the scene? What's the scene?
It's a beach.
It's a beach. Okay,
Yeah.
we're on a beach. Okay.
There are insects on the grass.
And I'm hoping you notice the insects. Yes, there are
Yeah.
insects on the grass. Can you tell me about the insects? Oh, you guys are good. You're so good. Tell me about the insects.
I don't
Is
know
it
what
ant?
kind.
There's a
You have
Looks
something
like a s-
called a walking stick.
Praying mantis.
Grasshoppers.
You have a beetle
beetle, a little beetle.
and you have an ant. Right
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
my ant. You see my ant on the leaf?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Priyanka. So we're looking straight at this lying down figure. This is one of 23 in a series by Jacob Lawrence about Harriet Tubman.
Oh.
Oh,
Who was Harriet Tubman?
The
She
Underground
led
Railroad.
Underground Railroad. We're looking
Among
at
others.
Harriet Tubman's feet.
Oh,
Oh, really?
And what's behind her feet? Do you recognize this? What is that line there? Got a blue diagonal line there, and you've got something here to the right.
A gun. It looks like a
It's a
rifle.
rifle. Yes, it's a rifle. She's lying
Oh.
down. She's holding a rifle.
holding the rifle.
Huh.
Yeah.
One of 31 in this series. So, tired, difficult journey,
yeah.
daybreak, tempera on board. This is called Daybreak, A Time to Rest. That's the name of this piece.
Ah. Oh, yeah.
Tempera. What is tempera paint?
Poster paint. Or was egg tempera or just tempera?
Tempera paint on board. What's tempera? How do we make tempera?
Powder and water?
Pigment.
Egg?
Pigment, ground
Yeah.
color. Ground color. In what medium?
Egg, or it could be egg. It's a better thing
It's
besides
egg.
egg.
Egg yolk.
tempera. Yeah,
Does it dry quickly or slowly?
quickly.
It dries very quickly. You have to paint quickly. You have to know what you're doing, and you get these flat colors And before artists used oil in the Renaissance, they painted with tempera.
Is there is there a difference between egg tempera and tempera?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Good question, though. No, no.
It's like the kids use tempera. You know, I have
Yes.
vast
Tempera paint.
of it.
Tempera paint. Yes, exactly right. But tempera is pigment dissolved in egg yolk or egg white. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Does it give you a feeling of anything?
I like the composition
Okay.
a lot.
Yeah.
Does it give you does it communicate anything?
Somehow it looks like peace because of the
Yeah.
loose light green all around the people and the restful yellow, the blues. I mean, those people could not be at peace, but this looks like a moment of peace.
They're resting,
Yeah,
right? They're resting before they will continue.
Yeah.
They will continue. Very good, Susan. They're resting before they will continue. Daybreak, time to rest. Jacob Lawrence does the Migration series. Anybody know what the Migration series was? 60 pieces of scenes of that great migration that we spoke about, starting in the South, showing people on trains, showing people in race riots, ending the last piece of the Migration series is number 60, is a bunch of children in school.
Wow.
Yes.
That'd be something to see the whole progression.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And
Yes.
I said 60 pieces, and he does it at the age of 23 with the same tempera paint. He loves to work with tempera.
Yeah,
30
I
of the
think that-
pieces are at MoMA, and 30 of the pieces are in Washington, D.C. And every 10 years, they combine them. They combine them. Yeah.
Where are the
Would
Washington
have-
pieces?
The Washington, let me get it. The Washington pieces, I believe, if I'm correct, are at the Phillips. The Phillips Museum.
Huh. Wow.
When they couldn't decide who was going to get it, so they split the baby down the middle. 30 and 30.
For me, I think this would have more impact in context than alone.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. You're without question, but I wasn't going to do
Well, no,
31.
why not?
Yeah, 60
Yeah.
paintings.
You
No,
just
there's no
asked what it-
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I
I
wanted you
must
to-
be, I'm getting odd, but it looked first of all, it looks like there's movement in the painting, even though they're resting. There's something restless about the composition for me.
What's moving? What's moving?
Grass.
The way
Grass.
the shapes go, the sand is almost like a wave. It's this whole rolling around of stuff. A little-
Okay.
yeah, that's just weird.
Okay.
And the green looks like flames almost.
No, it's not weird. It's not
No.
weird. I wouldn't know. It's not weird. There is movement.
Yeah.
There definitely is movement. I just love the feet. I think the feet are wonderful. And
Oh yeah.
traditional art, there's a painting of Christ, feet first, by an artist named Mantegna.
Mm.
Feet first. Okay, that's the view we get, right, of the crucified Christ.
Yeah,
Off the
with
cross.
holes in them. Yeah.
Off the cross, feet first. Yeah.
Mm.
And I would say Jacob Lawrence is probably the most widely acclaimed African-American artist of the 20th century.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. Mm,
Oh my.
Hmm.
We are getting modern.
That's a collage,
It is a collage. What is a collage?
pieces to make a whole.
Pieces pasted on the surface. Exactly right. And I'm hoping that think back to the very beginning, we saw a piece of art that had nothing to do with the person's background or culture, nothing. Now we start to see pieces that reflect the African-American experience. How many figures in here? Look carefully.
Boy. Where's Waldo?
Yep, look carefully. You're right. Look carefully. How many figures?
I
Priyanka's
see
getting
two.
this thing, honey. Yeah, Priyanka, there's one right there. Yes, looking through the
Yeah,
window.
1, 2.
Where's the other one?
Right there.
And
Yeah.
there's
The
and
third.
there are three. There are three.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. That's
There are
3, yeah, okay.
Oh, no. There are three. There's also a train. Anybody see a train in this?
I think so,
Look, where's my train?
up in the right hand.
Upper right-hand
Mhm.
corner. Good,
Oh,
good. Train.
another
Well,
train.
poor blacks
Yeah.
lived near the train tracks, did they not?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
generally.
So are we looking at an affluent neighborhood?
no.
No, we're looking at a shack, actually. We're
Hmm.
looking at a shack with a gentleman sitting in front of the shack. Take a look at the black foot. Take a look at his black foot. Solid black. Do you see it
Yeah,
sideways?
right.
It's directly below his patched knee pants.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Again, think back to Egypt.
Hmm.
Egyptian feet are always shown sideways like this.
Oh,
Always. This is Romer Bearden, Bearden.
yeah.
Someone who also could never support himself with his art. He was a social worker during the day.
Hmm.
He collaged at night. He always listened to music when he worked. What type of music do you think he listened to?
jazz.
Jazz, exactly. Perfect. This is a photo montage, pieces of photography, also pieces of fabric, pieces of wallpaper,
Huh.
pieces from magazines, newspapers, and so on. He was a collagist. This is a man who actually was very, very, very light complected, and he could pass for white. His sister passed for white. He said, I will not pass for white because I am black. 1911, 1988. Goes to Paris in 1950, spends 2 years, comes back, spends the rest of his career doing these fabulous collages. This is called Tomorrow I May Be Far Away. That's the name of it.
Mhm.
The inspiration for it was a black blues song in 1929. Tomorrow I May Be Far Away.
I'm struck by that, the blackness of that shoe down there.
Okay, you
But
got
you
it?
know, it brings your eye down there
It does.
and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
grounds.
It does. And
That's-
again, it connects African culture to what? Egypt.
You said Egypt.
He did.
Egypt.
That
I
Egypt
certainly, I
influence.
wouldn't have known that, but you said Egypt.
Yeah,
If you
because
look-
he's facing.
He's facing forward. If you look at a piece of Egyptian art, look at any piece of Egyptian art, wall art, anything, you will always see the feet sideways, always.
Yeah.
Just like the bodies face front, the faces are in profile, and the feet are in profile. That's Egyptian art. Do you see the little chicken in the do you see the chicken? The chicken is to the right of the man's elbow.
Yes,
Oh, no, yeah, the little bird.
There he
Yeah,
is.
there.
Yeah, there he is.
that
And
a
the
chicken?
woman, that's a chicken. Yes, that's a chicken in the
Oh,
backyard.
and a lady.
Oh,
Huh.
Chicken in the backyard, and the woman to the right of the chicken is
Yeah.
holding a watermelon.
Yeah.
oh,
Is another.
was that one?
Talk to me about watermelons and
Oh,
black.
that's classic.
black. And is that meant to be a compliment?
No, Well,
No.
it depends.
Mhm.
I knew a woman in Portland who collected watermelon everything, sculptures,
Mhm.
pots, everything. Watermelon was her theme, and it was that same ironic kind of a humor.
Was she black?
She was black, yeah.
Okay, well, good for her.
Compliment. It's
Yeah.
not a compliment.
She was a remarkable woman. She was something else, but that's
Tomorrow,
different
I
story.
may be far away. Let's go to the next one. Okay,
Oh,
wow.
beautiful.
what's
Wow.
beautiful about it?
Oh, the contrast to the colors, the
Mhm.
nice orange red and then the black, and then that
Okay.
nice, beautiful, different colors of blue.
Mhm. So let's that you guys have gotten so good. Let's really analyze this. What's going on here? And the name of it, by the way, is Great. The name of it is Great America. Great
That's
Oh.
Great
America.
America, yeah.
Yes, Great America is a amusement park in California.
Oh,
It's a real place. It's a real place. Okay, so what's happening here?
The black people are on a boat heading toward Great America. The Red Cross is under a veil, and the ghosts and the sad ghosts of the past are waving them goodbye.
oh. I
Wow.
thought it was a tunnel of horrors, like a spooky
Yeah.
tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tunnel of Horrors to me.
Hmm,
Going into.
But they're
Going
going
into-
out of it because the way the waves are going. Yeah.
they're going. So
Oh,
if you've ever gone to an amusement park, have you ever been on one of the rides? These boats are in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And we have black people in the boat. Do they look very
That's a
comfortable?
measuring tape.
Do they look very comfortable?
No.
They're crowded.
Are they crowded into the boat?
Yes,
Very crowded into the boat.
it looks
Yeah.
like the back one
little
is trying to get
metaphorical,
in the
maybe?
boat.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
A little
The
metaphorical.
back one is
maybe?
trying,
I'm sorry, Toby. what's-
Metaphorical, I'm saying, just a
Oh,
little.
with the whole thing is a metaphor. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah,
Yes.
no question about it. So you have your amusement park ride
Oh,
with black people, and look how they're very black, with black
Mhm.
people crammed together. Okay, going into a tunnel with
They're going
these
out of it.
white. No, they're going in with these white.
Well, how come the waves? How come that? Well, look
Let
at the
me
waves.
finish. Will, just a minute.
Okay, okay.
These
Wait.
white with these white figures. Tell me about the white figures.
they're
they're
scared.
just trying to
spirits of
get
the
in
dead.
or stop the boat.
Ah,
Think about the white figures.
They're ghosts.
Think about the white figures. Think about white figures covered with sheets in relation to.
Yeah. The
Oh.
little KKK.
Oh, those sheets.
Scary.
Oh, yes, Ku Klux Klan. You got to. They said this is loaded with imagery here. You also have a face in the water underneath the.
Oh, God, somebody's drowning.
Somebody is overboard.
Yep.
Somebody
Oh.
is overboard. In
Oh, yeah.
17, and this is an artist who really knows his history. In 1781, there was a very famous episode of a slave, of a slave ship, Middle Passage, that's the water, Middle Passage, of a slave ship that was overloaded in a storm. And the captain, what do you think the captain did to the cargo?
Dumped
he
it overboard.
jettisoned the slaves.
Threw them overboard.
Yeah.
And that was 1781. There's a British artist whose name is Turner, JMW Turner, who does a painting of that episode. And that leads in England to the abolition of slavery in the 1840s. So he's referring to that episode in Black history. There's a man overboard. Wow. What does wow mean? What do you say when you're excited in an amusement park? Don't you say wow?
No.
No?
Yeah.
No?
I say
Okay.
wow all the time.
Are we excited? Wow is a word of excitement, isn't it?
But it can also be sarcastic.
It can also be sarcastic.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
It's dripping.
And we have
Yeah.
drips here. We have
Yeah.
drips. We have
And
drips.
it's blood.
Yeah.
Red.
We have drips. So yes, the drips, some of these drips are red, could be blood. We also have drips in the blue because this artist, I say, whose name is Kerry James Marshall. I'm sorry. He's from Chicago. He's still alive. He paints. He's in his 60s. What artist is he referring to with the drips? Who does drip painting?
Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock. Yes, Jackson Pollock. Yes.
There's a measuring tape under the boat,
A measuring
Is
tape.
it?
numbers
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, no, that's the Great American.
That says the name of the painting, Great America.
What about the Red Cross?
What about the Red Cross? You tell me, what
Hmm.
does the Red Cross symbolize?
Compassion.
Rescue. Yeah.
Supposed to be first aid, help.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
help. Exactly. Are these people getting any help?
Nope.
No.
No.
And I like it that someone pointed out that there's a big ghost over the Red Cross.
The white sheet.
On down, yeah.
Is it a ghost
yeah,
or
oh.
that sheet? Oh,
Okay.
that
And
veil.
Yes,
Oh.
there's a veil. I think what Kerry James Marshall is trying to say to us is take a look underneath the wonderful amusement park setting. I'm peeling back the curtain to show you what's going on. I'm peeling back the curtain to show you what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Great
Yes.
America.
Great America.
Great America. So, and how many meanings could that have?
Yeah.
More than one.
More for sure.
Make
And
America
Kerry-
great again.
Well, we're not going down that road. Not for me. I'm sorry, Will, not for me. I want you to look at the color that he paints their skin. His figures are always very, very black. There's no
But they're not
equivocation.
absolutely silhouette. I'm looking in detail. They're actually not complete silhouette. There are eyes and mouth. and
Yes,
stuff
yes,
there.
you have faces here.
Yeah.
You absolutely have faces here.
Yeah.
And his figures are, and he doesn't just use one shade of black, he uses 3. But they're very, 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 very dark.
Wow.
No equivocation here.
Yeah.
Kerry James Marshall.
To the right
Now-
of the part that says great, there's that kind of square figure.
Yeah, attached to some sort of sign holder, yes?
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't know what to make of that.
Well,
Yeah.
let's think now. What
It's there
it's
for a
attached-
reason.
Yeah, it's attached to a sign. It's holding the sign up. Could it be a sign on a path leading us to one direction or another in a location?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Kerry James Marshall, how big do you think this is? How big do you think this is? You think this is a big painting or a small painting?
I don't know.
Think of the message. It's big or small? Nobody wants it to, nobody wants to take a
I
chance?
want it to be big.
And you're right. He wanted it to be big. It's 103 by 114.
All right.
Oh, that's big.
That's big.
And it's big.
Yeah.
And it's a
really
piece
big.
of it's unstretched canvas. Do you see the outline? Do you see the outline?
Oh, yeah.
Unstretched. Canvases are
Huh.
always stretched on wooden stretchers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This is unstretched canvas hung on the wall.
Wow.
Oh, that's what it is. The little,
That
little,
way,
little
why-
dips between the rads or whatever.
Yes, it's tacked
hooks holding
onto
it
the
up.
wall. Tacked on. This is so powerful in person.
So visceral.
Yeah. Well, I want to go
I
back
do-
to the
I-
direction of that boat. Go
You
ahead.
do? Why?
Yeah, because I see the waves like
Yeah.
the bow waves of a boat moving out of the tunnel, not in the tunnel.
Wait.
No,
Which would be an interesting analogy, if you will. You came out of the horrors of slavery into what they expected to be wonderful new America, and it may not be, but that's really stretching it a bit.
It's the
But
way.
just because it looks like it's moving out of the tunnel, not into the tunnel,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
even though
good.
the person, yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I say okay.
And that would also explain the wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
The wow over her head.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also why
Yeah.
they're all
Well,
looking back at the horrors and yet they're going
I
forward.
want to personalize
they don't see.
my reaction is what has struck me about American race relations, especially with Black people, is how many times promises were disappointed, were not met.
For sure.
The Great Migration, the moving from out of slavery, Reconstruction, all those things were promises of liberation, which fell through because of other underlying currents. But that's, again, maybe stretching it.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Why? Tell me.
Well, because we do keep well, like they're saying a lot on the TV right now about the tremendous disparity in incomes of white families and Black families.
Correct.
And some person pointed out recently that a certain congressman's family, I mean, it isn't even personal, but they're from this professor and this congressman are from the same district in Tennessee. And for at least 5 generations, this congressman's family has been profiting from the same factors that have been depriving her family. It's not even personal,
Oh, yeah.
it's just the economic flow. So
Oh, yeah.
it
By
just-
personal, I meant me personal, not individual
He meant
versus
himself.
institutional. It's definitely
okay.
institutional.
Yeah, he meant himself. He meant
Sure.
himself. Those waves could also represent the turbulent Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily, am
Well,
I right?
the way they curl away the way a bow wave does.
Mhm.
Okay, I say,
And I
okay.
like the yellow sunlight at the very
Yeah, the
upper
yellow
left.
sunlight.
That's a nice
What's
touch.
on the
What's-
left? There's a little circle that would look like stars or dots. or something.
Stars, little circle of stars. Yes, what might that be? Could that also be a reference to a constellation? Could that also be a reference to the North Star? Could that also be going towards
Mm.
something or not?
The stars in the American flag. come to mind.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
also the Euro flag.
no, we're going too far now. We're going too, now
I
we're
know,
going,
that's way up.
now we're going
I don't
too
know.
far. All right, let's go to the next one, unless you have,
I have
What?
one last thing. I got actually
Please.
2 last things. But
please.
I'm going back to that square thing. Maybe
Yes,
this is just my computer. Maybe it's just my imagination. When I look really closely into it, it seems like there's 3 columns, and that there could be
Oh yeah.
writing on it.
no, what you're seeing, you're seeing one of
Oh,
the, you're seeing the support is white.
underneath.
Support
Okay,
is white.
I
You see it? It's
I
it,
see
yeah, the support is white.
And it's okay.
It's just leading us along a path.
Okay, and the yellow at the top looks like it could be sunshine. It could be rope.
Okay,
Yeah,
Just me.
yeah.
okay. Now look how long we look at a piece, or we could spend
Yeah.
another half an hour on this, okay?
Great.
That just like, well, really? I mean, what is it? Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Love
There
this
you go.
one. It's a woman artist, Kara Walker. Kara Walker. She's
Oh,
an art
my.
professor at Columbia. She does huge pieces, huge
Babies,
installations.
birthing.
Wow.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And
Oh
it's
my
done
God.
by silhouettes. What is silhouette? Do we not, what is that to make a silhouette art? We cut out black paper and paste it on white. How many people
Yeah.
have seen silhouettes? This was very popular, upper middle class white ladies collected silhouettes of themselves and their families and their husbands, always in
Yeah.
profiles. Yes?
Yep.
Yes. And that's what Kara Walker does.
Wow.
Kara Walker says, I'm not interested in work that doesn't elicit feelings. What's going on here? And this is one of her more, I'm going to use the word benign pieces. Because she,
It's pretty
yes,
unbenign.
benign. I'm going to use that word benign because she does huge pieces, okay? showing sexual assault by white men on Black children, on Black women.
Oh,
I mean,
Huh.
some of them are they're very disturbing. This one is a little less disturbing, or not.
I
Or
don't know. Somebody with his
Well,
foot
when
on
you look-
somebody's back, the man on the right
Yes.
looking like he's having anal sex with the woman upside down,
There you go, right? There you go. There you go.
and the birthing table with the person,
Mhm.
Birthing or an abortion.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like it could be, yeah. With that little
It's
figure in the
called-
bottom, is that,
Roots and links, roots and links.
oh, that's
Roots.
sausages, yeah.
Uh-huh. It's 66 by 167 inches wide.
Wow.
Kara Walker.
I'm laughing because she puts the literal roots and the literal links of sausage in there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
that's,
That's exactly
yeah,
right.
the multiple meanings should be jazz. That's kind of cool.
And think
It's
of
pretty
think
angry.
of the silhouettes. They're always in oval frames.
Oh, that's not
people
a,
In the 1850s, 1860s, this was a way of doing personal portraits. Black on white. Kara Walker, 1969. She loves the artwork of Kerry James Marshall, the person we just saw with Great America. Very influenced by his work.
yeah.
Kara
Well, they're both
Walker.
message paintings.
Oh, they sure are. Oh, they sure are. They're very political. Very political. Very political. She does these huge, they're called panoramas. She does these huge panoramas, okay, of war battles and of I say sexual assault and physical abuse and so on. Yeah. Kara Walker. All right, let's go to the next one.
Oh
Another
my.
woman artist,
Looks like,
another woman artist whose name is Amy Sherald, Sherald. She does nothing that involves slavery. She does nothing that involves stereotypes. Does anybody know who this is?
looks like Michelle Obama, but it doesn't look like, it's not a representation. It just looks
It's
like,
Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama.
yeah.
And it's the companion piece to the presidential portrait of her husband.
Oh,
This is the companion piece. Notice her skirt.
yeah.
These
Hello,
are
Art.
patterns. These are traditional African-American quilt patterns.
Oh,
Notice her face. How is she posed? Talk to me about how she's posed.
formal.
Serene.
Serene. What else?
Yeah.
She's pensive, thinking.
She's thinking. She's looking right at us. She wants us to look at her.
Yeah.
What else? Is it an elegant pose? Is this elegant?
Yeah. I think so.
Yes. It's a very elegant pose. Does this woman know who she is?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Is she comfortable with herself?
Yeah.
yes.
Very. Notice the color of the skin.
Yeah. It is intriguing.
Notice the color of her skin. Shades of gray.
Right.
Yeah.
Shades of gray. Amy Sherald. Portraits depicting African Americans in thinking of, let's go back to James Van Der Zee in secure,
Formal poses. Yeah.
formal, comfortable with themselves poses. Amy Sherald, 1973. Large scale portraits.
Wow.
Look how far we've come from depictions of, well, let's go back to the beginning. Priyanka, go back to the beginning for me.
Way back.
Keep going, hon. Go way back. Keep going.
Yeah,
Okay,
still life.
so there's my still
That's
life
just another triangular picture. Yeah.
for sure. With no, and that's exactly how she's posed also. That was a good catch, Will. She's posed the same way. She's posed the same way. Go to the next one, Priyanka. Let's go through slowly. Go ahead, Priyanka. All right. Think about this man. Think about this man a potter who learned how to read and write. All right. Read and write. Next one. Think about this gentleman who had to leave the United States in order to sell,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right? All right. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that strikes me as you go through the chronologically,
Go
that
ahead.
the earlier ones were derivative. They were some other tradition that had been used for their own purposes.
Mhm.
But then you get to the later ones, they're much more as distinct. This is the artist's statement rather than a particular tradition, although the formal
Does that
parts
say
might be.
something about the way the artist feels about his position now in society, that he can express
Yeah.
himself more? Yes, absolutely. More comfortable. Go to the next one. Love the grandmother. Oh, fabulous. Let's go to the next. That's James Van Der Zee. Go ahead. Aaron Douglas. Go ahead. Horace Pippin. Let's go to the next one, Priyanka. Jacob Lawrence. Go ahead. Romare Bearden.
Wow.
Go ahead. Kerry James Marshall. Go ahead. Carol Walker. And Amy Sherald.
Wow. Yeah.
Anybody have one piece that they would love to have in their house or not?
Well, the Impressionist one of Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I like.
okay. So that's just a beautiful piece of landscape art, very impressionistic. We would never know that this artist was Black, am I right?
Right.
Would never know he was Black. Okay. Anybody else? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. Anyone else have anything else to say about any of the pieces we talked about? Come on, guys, you were so talkative to me. Talk to me.
Well, it's a nice history.
Okay,
The one I would want in my home though, has no history. It's just a beautiful,
painting.
faraway scene. The
Yeah,
other,
okay,
yeah.
okay, that's fine. I'm not being critical. That you're right. You're right. That's fine. That's perfect.
No, but I noticed that about myself. I thought, yeah, I don't want a message of so much unhappiness looking at me.
So interesting. You don't want a message. Wow, that's such an interesting way of saying it. Let me get back to let me talk to you, Faisa. All right, because you don't it's something you don't want to think about or what talk to
No,
me.
I like to think about it and I like reading history about it. But I got a very tranquil feeling when I looked at the landscape.
Okay.
And when I look at what my other favorite painting was the one, now I've been making notes and that's doing me a lot of good because I
Yeah, I
can't tell.
wish I had.
The one of the North Star.
Okay,
That
the
was my
Douglas.
favorite, but if I looked at that, I
Same.
mean, there's a lot in that painting.
The Aaron Douglas. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
And what you have hanging in your home, or at least what I have hanging in my home, my own paintings are all of happy scenes where I've been or of people I love,
Okay.
who I'm not necessarily on good terms with now. But my paintings that I want to look at when I relax
Yeah.
are give me happy thoughts.
Okay. Fair. Fine.
I
Fine.
would take the amusement park because of the color and the movement, and I would take the silhouette because it's so stark.
The Carol Walker you're talking about.
Yes.
I was
Very stark.
thinking the I think it's the North Star, the one with the light coming on
The Aaron Douglas.
silhouette. And I had the kind of second thought that came behind was just how would I be living with it all the time?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I might not want to be looking at it all the time. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Check out, Toby, check out Aaron Douglas. I
Yeah.
believe that I sent Pasadena Village the cover sheet. So that all the name of the artist and the name of the art and the year it was done.
Oh, perfect.
Cool.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm nothing if I'm not an educator. So you guys can have.
Where
See-
do we find it?
The cover
Uh,
sheet is in the chat, Toby, and I can
Oh,
email
okay.
it to you again.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
thank you,
That'd be
Priyanka.
great.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be great. I want to follow up on some of these and I want you to come back again and again and again. I'd like to.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so lovely. As they would say, the check is in the mail then, okay? This is an unsolicited comment. Thank you. That's fair. You guys have been, there are some people that didn't say anything to me. What about Jane? What do you have to say, Jane?
Well, I'd like to point out that there's an exhibit at the USC Fisher Museum of Art right now it's Kara Walker. And Pasadena Village has an event scheduled for November 29th. We're going to go and see the exhibit. So
Perfect. Perfect.
I hope you can make, I hope the folks on the call are able to make time to do it. It's
And
really
I-
powerful. I saw it
yes.
last month.
Yes, and I'm just telling you, it's a little, some of it is disturbing. And
Yeah.
that's what she wants. That's exactly what she wants because that history was not pretty.
Wow.
Period. Okay, it just wasn't pretty. And so I'm just preparing you, that's all. Let's see who else hasn't said anything.
I have-
Helene, can I interrupt the wonderful
Please,
conversation for a minute? Hi, everybody, and thank you and welcome and we're so glad you're here. And please don't let this stop the conversation. But yeah, I didn't thank our sponsors at the beginning of this event. So I first want to thank Dick Myers for arranging the 1619 discussion group and all of you who often participate with him. Thank you, Dick. And then today it was made possible because of our generous business partners. And so we have Trinity Hills Estates, which is a assisted living facility in Arcadia, who sponsors Pasadena Village, and they made today in part possible. So I just wanted to thank them, and then finally thank Helene so much for returning and being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's see who else. Joe, do you have anything to tell me?
Joy, you
No,
mean
that's
Joy?
Joe. She's muted.
Oh,
Joe is muted. Joe.
I tend to like art that tells our story not related to slavery, because I've experienced a lot of rejection similar to slavery. So I would choose not to buy that type of art. And that's not the type I have in my home.
Got it.
Whereas
Understood.
I still like to look at the art, appreciate the art that was done, but normally I tell stories in my home. I buy art in my home that tells tells a story that's not part of my history that I lived through.
Fair enough. Understood. Thank you. Joy Wilson.
I love the Impressionist painting. I thought that was absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And I just love all your dragging out questions from everyone. I really think it's a fabulous way to appreciate art a little better.
Yeah, this is how I do this, okay? Because honestly, you guys point things out to me that I may never have seen, and I can look at the same thing 100 times. It doesn't matter, because each time you look at a particular piece of art, you're not the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're different already.
Yeah.
Very
Truly,
interesting.
you're different already. So I love it. Thank you. That's a very nice thing to hear, because I have more fun, I think, than you guys. So I thank you for letting me have a lovely, no, I'm serious. Have a lovely afternoon. Let's see who else. Jean Owen, talk to me.
Well, you know how I feel about you. You have introduced a whole new way to appreciate art, which I had never have thought I knew how to do. But you have encouraged me to bring what I see to it, not what I'm told it is.
Perfect. That I couldn't say it better than that. Let's see, who haven't I bothered? Let's see, there's a Claire Gorfinkel. She's muted. I don't know if she wants to even talk to us. All right, Will Fuller, he's muted.
I'm
Oh, there
unmuted.
he is. Okay, Will, thank you for carrying the conversation along. Wow, you're terrific.
We got it. Well, you were talking about the paintings and the relationship. One thing that strikes me is we are looking at Black art and people whose history had a lot of rejection. A lot of artists get rejected, but Black artists particularly who don't deserve it just because they're Black. And it continues. For me, of all the paintings here, the one of Michelle Obama struck me the most because the Obamas represent a lot of the richness and layered experience of people in the Black community. And the whole idea of race. This has now come up because of that Supreme Court decision. If you don't want to talk about race, how do you deal with race issues without talking about race? And what does it mean for our relationship among communities, which is very important. We are on paper a blended culture, a welcoming of immigrants from all over. And we have some rather notable exceptions to that. And dealing with those exceptions and incorporating people who have suffered through that as part of the broader community for everyone, which is a really powerful thing to do. And the art, in many ways, the artist and the way you present it helps that happen. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see who else I haven't bothered. I don't see anybody. I can't see anyone else. Priyanka, do you have somebody else there that isn't on the screen that I'm looking at here?
Not that I see.
No, I think I bothered everybody that I can see.
Well, let me just say thank you very much, Helene, for this. And it's wonderful, as all of your presentations have been. I want to remind everyone that this is recorded. It will be up on our website, on our YouTube channel. And you'll be able to read about this in the 1619 blog post about this event. And we'll have links there to the presentation once we get it up. And we can also link to the cover sheet, so it'll be downloadable from there. So you can find both of these things on our website. And all of Helene's presentations that she's done are available on our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can go back and look at this one again, and you can go back and enjoy some of the others. And we welcome visitors to the 1619 project discussion. We encourage you to tell your friends who might be interested that they can go look at these presentations and that they're welcome to join us in future presentations about other topics of interest. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. It's been a great group as usual. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. We've got some interesting presentations coming up in the future.
Good.
Thank you,
Thank you, Dick.
everybody.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Elaine.
you very much.
Be well, be
Thanks.
happy,
Take care.
be well, be happy. And what I always tell all my students is keep looking,
Right.
Looking, yeah.
keep looking. All right, you see, there's a lot more than you think. Keep looking.
True. Thank you, thank you.
Thank
Be
you.
well. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you,
What can I
everybody.
say, my love? As always. What
You,
can I say?
Elaine, always learn so much.
Oh, what can I say?
Yeah.
She's my wingman. Okay, take care. We'll see you again.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Priyanka, you can shut us down.